You had Mayor Bruce Harrell, who attended the grand opening. It was a big celebration, and I'm sure he was strategically placed in the perfect spot for photos that could pretend to show that downtown is thriving. It's dynamic. I mean, he's done little to actually change the city, and I guess we're supposed to pretend that any kind of dynamics going on right now downtown Seattle is not due to Amazon and due to Bruce Harrell. Okay. You've got our main newspaper, our newspaper of record, the Seattle Times. I saw on their site a ridiculously long feature story, and it was centered around the decision to open in downtown, and it spoke with the CEO. Their reporter tells us that the CEO, Lisa Bridge, quote, said she wanted to bring pieces of Benbridge history to the flagship store. And then they quote her. And she says, finding the right way and the right tone to be able to tell those rich stories makes a difference. Trying to do more storytelling and bringing that out in a new way is exciting and challenging, but really ultimately important. Now that sounds sweet. It doesn't mean anything. I have no idea what she just said. I legitimately have no clue what those words that I just read, that quote, I have no clue what it means. I have no idea. But she's one of those people who's very positive, annoyingly so. But some people like that. I grant you, I am in the sort of the outlier group that finds that to be very, very annoying. But some other people, most people probably like a sunny disposition. Now, she also happened to speak to King 5 News.
In 2019, we started talking about expanding and what that looked like. And then in 2020 was really the opportunity to look around and say, well, if we're going to grow, is this the best spot?
So in other words, before all of the craziness of 2020, she was like, well, let's take advantage of this. COVID is here. It's giving us some good potential deals. Let's go get that space. I can't imagine she made that decision in the latter half of 2020. But the decision was made a few years ago before a historic rise in not just homicides, but fatal overdoses, a lot of it having to do with that downtown core. So it sounds like she made that decision to move before all of that. And if I look at the King 5 story, it's framed around one dude making one comment. One dude who just happened to be walking by as whomever the reporter is, was there doing a stand-up and said, hey, you look, well, you've got clothes on and you're not high on fentanyl. Come over here. And then they ask, well, what do you think?
It feels safe. I think it feels safe. I feel like the more people that are around here, the more businesses that are open, the safer that it feels.
Now, why did they frame this entire story around that quote from some random dude? Because they want to combat the criticism that the policies the reporters and editors favor over at King and other outlets here haven't actually ruined the city, haven't hurt the city. They love the policies. They endorse the policies. They amplified the voices endorsing those policies. And they don't want to be blamed for what's been going on. Some of them don't legitimately think there's anything wrong. They have a head in the sand attitude.